Hey, rock stars. If you've been on the entrepreneurship journey for a while, you know this feeling. In all the interviews, in all the coaching calls, one truth kept coming up over and over again. Leadership is lonely. Business development is lonely. And entrepreneurship is lonely. You can't just talk to anyone about it. That's why I created the Catalyst Club, a private, values-driven community where you can speak the truth, be your authentic self, and connect with people who understand what you're going through and can actually help. We made it private so you feel safe. We made it affordable so no one gets left out. And we built it on values that matter, like showing up, sharing knowledge, and choosing growth over ego. Inside, you'll find coffee with rock stars for real talk and connection, unplugged Q&A for live coaching and clarity, and Catalyst sessions with world-class experts who light a fire under your next move. We're building the most supportive business community on the internet, and we want you to help us do it. Join us today at kellykennedyofficial.com. We're just getting started. A while back, I made a mistake that cost me something more valuable than money. It cost me trust. I booked a series of meetings using relationships that I had spent a lot of time building, but I wasn't going to be in the room for the meetings. I thought I was helping my client move things forward. Then they missed one meeting, then another, and suddenly I wasn't doing business development anymore. I was apologizing, rescheduling, and trying to repair relationships that took, in some cases, years to earn. That's when it hit me. In business development, if you're not accountable for the outcomes, you shouldn't be booking the meeting. Today, we're talking all about how to protect your reputation, your credibility, and the relationships that make this incredible work possible. Stick with us. You are not going to want to miss this episode.
The great Mark Cuban once said, "Business happens over years and years. Value is measured in the total upside of a business relationship, not by how much you squeezed out in any one deal." And we couldn't agree more. This is the Business Development Podcast, based in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, and broadcasting to the world. You'll get expert business development advice, tips and experiences, and you'll hear interviews with business owners, CEOs, and business development reps. You'll get actionable advice on how to grow business. Brought to you by Capital Business Development, capitalbd.ca. Let's do it. Welcome to the Business Development Podcast. And now your expert host, Kelly Kennedy.
Hello, welcome to episode 313 of the Business Development Podcast. It is my absolute pleasure to be on here with you guys today, week over week, month over month, and year over year. I have an incredible show for you guys today. It's not very often that I get to come on here and just chat about the stuff that really doesn't go right for me. But I feel like this is one of those episodes where you guys are going to get to learn from one of my mistakes, and hopefully you will not repeat it because, I'll be honest, it sucked. We're going to talk all about that today. But before we do, I wanted to bring you into a new show, guys, that I'm working on here behind the scenes. You might have seen it if you've been following me on LinkedIn or Instagram, but I want to chat all about a show called I Used to Work There. It is a storytelling show to the core, and we are going to talk all about the experiences that have stuck with you at work. I know, right? How does this show not exist? It is going to exist. We want the good, the bad, the ugly. Guys, I want it all. I want every experience you guys can have at work on this show. So whether it was crazy, wild, scary, paranormal, you name it, I want to hear it. The show is called I Used to Work There, and I'm aiming to have our very first episode released, guys, by the end of February. So if you like the BDP, if you like me, Kelly Kennedy, you will very much like I Used to Work There. It's going to be a very different show from this one. It's going to be entertaining. It's going to be funny. It's going to be scary. It's going to be sad. It's going to be all of the stories that you guys have from your lifetimes at work. If this sounds interesting to you and you want to participate, and please, we're going to need all the help we can get with this one. If you want to participate, just shoot me a quick email that says, I have a story for you, to hr@iusedtoworkthere.com. That's hr@iusedtoworkthere.com. When you do that, I will respond with a guest intake and release form. And I just want you to give me a very brief overview of what happened to you. And from there, we will send you the options on how you can record. There's a few different ways you can do it. You can self-record and then just email it to me, or we can book a quick 15 to 20 minute interview for you to come on and tell your story. Guys, we're going to need thousands and thousands of stories over time. I want this show to be big. I want this show to be worldwide. So wherever you listen to us, it doesn't matter. You have worked a lifetime likely. Tell us your stories. Tell us the crazy things that have happened to you at work, the funny things that have happened to you at work, the wild things that have happened to you at work, and of course, the uplifting and inspiring things that have happened to you at work. If it happened at work, I want to hear it. The show is called I Used to Work There with yours truly, Kelly Kennedy, and I cannot wait to release it, and I cannot wait to hear your stories. Okay, let's get back to what I started this with, the story at hand. The point at which I get to tell you that I screwed up and made a massive mistake and paid the consequences for it. I know that's something you guys are going to be interested in. And I think you're going to find a lot of value in today's episode. It's not as much about business development do's and don'ts as much as it is about holding to your authority, making sure that you are always in the rooms you're supposed to be in, that you're not biting off more than you can chew, that you're not saying yes to situations that you don't control, which is a situation I found myself in. So let's get into it. I was working for a client a while back, and we had an absolute ton of success booking introduction meetings. It was awesome, guys. The reception for this client was absolutely massive. Everybody wanted to meet with them. Everyone wanted to know what they were doing. It was a win by all accounts. And I make a point to always attend all business development introduction meetings, guys. If I'm doing business development work for you, I am at all of the meetings that I schedule with you. So ultimately, I make a point that if I book the meeting, I am always there. But it was then that I made a massive mistake. The meetings for my client, like I said, were going absolutely excellent, but they had a missing component. This particular client didn't have a dedicated account manager. And if you've been listening to this show for any length of time, you know I always talk about it. You need business development, you need account management. They are separate positions. But I also understand that a lot of positions are dual rolling this. So a lot of people are doing a little bit of business development, a little bit of account management. This particular client was doing a lot of business development and not necessarily much at all of the account management stage. They were essentially waiting for the RFPs to just come in. Also not uncommon at all in a lot of organizations. Now, like I said, we had made a ton of introductions, but they were falling a little bit short on the next steps phase, on essentially establishing those relationships from the numerous amounts of meetings that we booked. We were losing opportunities that a better relationship would have likely closed. So this kind of came into a lot of conversations within the organization, guys, where we were talking about it and we were saying, look, we're getting the opportunities, we're doing the business development, we're making the introduction meeting, but we're struggling a little bit to get that repeat RFP business that we would get had these accounts been account managed. After some internal discussions, the client put together a solution and an interim account manager was named. Now, the challenge that we ran into with this interim account manager, guys, is that once again, it was a dual role. And his other role in this particular case was also a massive role within the company. So time was not something that this individual had a lot of. Now, we'd already booked quite a few meetings for this particular client. So there were a lot of accounts ready to be account managed. And I was asked if I could simply re-engage with these people. So typically, if you guys aren't familiar with how I do my business development processes, when I come in and do business development for a client, what they're hiring me for is to essentially shout their name from the rooftops, review their marketing material, identify their ideal customers, make sure that their information is getting in front of those ideal customers, build interest, get it to a meeting stage, follow up weekly until I book the meeting or disqualify with them. When we get a meeting, attend that meeting with the client, take it to next steps, and then Kelly steps back, rinse and repeat over and over again. But for clarity, I stop at the point at which it should become an account to manage, and I go back to the beginning and let account managers do their thing. In this particular case, I was asked to do something I never do. I was asked if I could re-engage and book some meetings on behalf of the new interim account manager. So no, I wasn't required necessarily to attend these meetings. What they wanted me to do was ultimately show up, go back to these clients we'd already booked introduction meetings with, we've already booked the business development meetings with, and say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Client, we would love to come down and meet you in person for a lunch, for a golf, for whatever. We ultimately just want to start to establish this relationship with you. So they were leveraging my already existing business development relationship with these people to take it to an account management stage on their behalf. So the requirement for me was that I did not have to attend this meeting. I just had to set it up, schedule the meeting, make whatever reservations needed to happen, and connect their two calendars. I was in the middle of something that I was not in control of. And I said yes. And I did not know it at that time, but I was about to learn a very new lesson in relationships and accountability that I will not soon forget. Quick pause here, and thank you for tuning in and supporting the show. I want to recognize Hyperfab, a Canadian precision fabrication company built by the team behind Hypervac Technologies, supporting projects in both Canada and the United States. They focus on high-quality sheet metal, fast turnaround, and solving complex fabrication challenges when it matters most. Hyperfab is proud to be our title sponsor for 2026. Thanks for listening. Let's get back to the show. This, Rockstars, was clearly the moment that I screwed up. We had incredible success. And I mean incredible success, guys. Like basically every person that I reached out to that we'd already met with was like, yeah, we'd love to do this. We'd love to get to know you better. We'd love for you to come and visit us. We'd lined up about 10 plus account management meetings in under 2 weeks. I can already see the cringe in your eyes starting to happen. Now, keep in mind, these are not my meetings. I repeat, these are not my meetings. They are to be attended by my client's account management team and some of the operations team, okay? A team that is already being stretched thin by current obligation and requirements. That was why they had asked for my help in scheduling in the first place. They simply did not have time to do this themselves. This was the red flag that I completely ignored, guys. And I'll be honest, and I'm going to be straight with you on this. This client is quite big. They are excellent at what they do. I want to just preface this right now by saying this mistake was not their mistake. This was 100% my mistake and my learning moment, which is why I'm kind of fessing up to saying I screwed up. This was not the client's fault at all. This is an exceptional company. They do great work. They're great people. The mistake was on me, and we're going to get into that as we go on. Now, keep in mind, we'd already met with each one of these companies before. There was already opportunities identified, and we were past all of the introduction stages. All of these should have now been in the account management stages, being managed by an account manager. In short, I had already established relationships, trust, and credibility with each of these prospects. I was leveraging that to set up these account management meetings. And like I said, it was going very well. This is where the whole thing fell apart and fell apart pretty spectacularly. I was driving all of these meetings full throttle, but understand, someone else had their hands on the steering wheel. These were not going to be my meetings. Like I said before, all BD meetings that I've historically booked, I have always attended the meetings. I am usually the one setting the tone, guiding the conversations, and building trust. But with this setup, I was not even present. So I controlled absolutely nothing. And that is a absolutely massive, massive mistake that I learned later. My client was unable to make a meeting, then another. And that is when it hit me. Every no-show was spending my credibility, not theirs, mine. Suddenly, I was not doing business development anymore. I was repairing relationships and rescheduling meetings that I didn't even attend or miss in the first place. It was my responsibility, guys, because I put my neck on the line. I booked the meetings. It was my credibility, not theirs. Before this, guys, I hadn't even considered the consequences of lending my credibility when I wasn't personally accountable for what happened next. And to be crystal clear, once again, this was not my client's fault. Things happen, life happens, and people miss meetings. We all know this. The mistake was I put myself in the middle of something that I should not have been involved with in the first place. I should have said no. So here is what went wrong in spectacular order. Number one, we did the hard part first. We'd already done all the calls, built the interest, and we built relationships in the business development stage that earned the trust of these clients. Number two, I mistakenly agreed to book account management meetings using my name and leveraging those current relationships instead of asking the account manager to do it instead. Number three, I booked meetings that I was not going to attend, which meant I gave up all my control and still held responsibility. Number four, the prospect, however, still associated the meeting with me because I was the relationship, the connector, the reason they said yes in the first place. Number five, my client missed a meeting, then another. Number six, at that point, it stopped being things happened and started feeling like a pattern to the prospects on the other side. Number seven, because my name was on the intro, I became responsible for the cleanup, even though I was not the one who missed the meetings. Number eight, suddenly I was in repair mode, apologizing, rescheduling, and trying to repair relationships that I had worked extremely hard to build. Number nine, the consequence was not the calendar chaos, although that was horrible and shitty. It was credibility loss because I had lent my trust without having personal accountability and control. Number 10, my core mistake was simple. I put myself into the middle of a process that I did not control, and I had no business being the middleman in if I was not going to be personally accountable as well. So, what is the lesson for my BD people out there? If you want to protect your reputation, your credibility, and your relationships, live by these 5 core principles. Number 1, only book what you are willing to own. If your name is on the invite, you are accountable for the outcome. If you won't or cannot personally stand behind it, do not schedule it, period. If you cannot be there, if you are not in control of the meeting, if you cannot show up for that client, come hell or high water, don't book that meeting. It will bite you in the ass. If not the first time, somewhere down the line. Number 2, control the first impression. First meetings set the tone for absolutely everything. Be in the room. Make a good impression. You won't get a second chance to do so. It's important that if it's your meeting in your name, that you are the one setting the impression. Number 3, don't lend credibility casually. Every intro spends trust. Treat your network like equity, not loose change. Once it's gone, it's very hard, if not impossible, to earn back. Number 4, remove the middleman role. Once again, repeat, remove the middleman role. If you don't control the process, don't sit in the middle. Middlemen carry the risk without the authority. Either lead it or step out, but choose. And number 5, build accountability before opportunity. Before you open doors for someone, make sure they are prepared, committed, and disciplined. Your relationships are far too valuable to test on a hopefully they show up scenario. Now, guys, I tried to help with good intentions. I really did. I thought for sure this should be fine and there would be no challenges at all. And I learned a very hard lesson about boundaries. As a business development professional, I now draw the line on meetings I personally attend. If I am not going to be there, I will not be booking it. Period. Because if you can't control the outcome, you shouldn't risk your credibility. And like most lessons in business and life, this is one of the hard ones that I will never forget. That takes us to the end of today's show, guys. If you enjoyed today's show, please do follow us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It makes a huge difference. I know a lot of people listen and don't follow. Please hit the follow button. We appreciate it greatly. And one other thing I want to mention, if you enjoy the show, you've been listening for a while, you want to get to know me better, you have questions, you're new to business development, you're an entrepreneur, a leader of some type, and you just want to surround yourself by an incredible community, please do consider joining the Catalyst Club community. We are a fully virtual community. We are international, and we are there to support one another. The leadership in that room, guys, is absolutely incredible and growing by the day. Our cost is negligible, 29 Canadian dollars a month. No long-term commitment. Stay as long as you find value. We have Catalyst GPT in there, the only business development GPT built on the entire catalog of the Business Development Podcast and my coaching programs. Please come check it out. KellyKennedyOfficial.com. That is KellyKennedyOfficial.com/The Catalyst Club. And we will see you inside. Shout outs this week: Gordon Shepard, Gary Noseworthy, Colin Harms, Tatiana Zametalina, Rodney Lover, Rudy Zacharias, Ellie Tyson, James Moffat, Vajian Swaminathan, Marshall Stern, John Pelly, Chris Friesen, Steve McKinney, Helen Yu, Ruth Ann Weeks, David Henriquez, Matthew Amoyet, Lindsay Lindhart, and Susan Paseka. Until next time, you've been listening to the Business Development Podcast, and we will catch you on the flip side.
This has been the Business Development Podcast with Kelly Kennedy. Kelly has 15 years in sales and business development experience within the Alberta oil and gas industry and founded his own business development firm in 2020. His passion and his specialization is in customer relationship generation and business development. The show is brought to you by Capital Business Development, your business development specialists. For more, we invite you to the website at www.capitalbd.ca. See you next time on the Business Development Podcast.